Good evening. I'm back once again. For those that don't know me, I am Coach Lawana, and I wanted to come back on to talk about loving ourselves. We've been talking about choosing forgiveness, and I was so excited earlier about um, the scripture that I ran across yesterday, Psalm 66 and 18, about if we don't do our part, and if we have iniquity in our heart, that God will not hear us. And so I was studying this book, Choosing Forgiveness. Um, and I tell you, it is an awesome book. It's worth buying if you're struggling with forgiveness and you don't want to invest in yourself, or you don't want to allow anyone to help you. It is an awesome book to purchase. So, in reading this, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna read much tonight, but it's talking about loving ourselves when we're dealing with forgiveness. And since I have been talking about forgiveness, excuse me, people would say, so what I supposed to do about me? You know, and in this situation, we have to love ourselves while we're loving others, and they're not as nice or not treating us right, or whatever the situation may be. We still got to love ourselves to set boundaries. We have to love ourselves to know what we want and know how we want to be treated. And this is basically what the paragraph is talking about on tonight. It reads, if we love our neighbors rightly, the implications of Jesus' command is that we must also love ourselves. Because I'm a firm believer. If you don't have any love for yourself, I don't believe that you would be able to pour out love. How can you pour something out that you don't have? If you don't have love in your heart, if you don't have the love of Christ that is in you, that He freely gives to us, how are you able to love someone else fully? It's a word that we have practiced. It's a word that we have said over and over again. But we have to think, do we really mean it when we say it? Or is it just an easy word to say? Or do we say it because it's something that you want to hear? Or do we say it because it's something that we want? I mean, it's so many words, so many ways, so many reasons that we say, I love you, but really don't mean it. And then because we need to be loved and it fills a void, it replaces the hurt or the issues momentary, temporary, not for a long time, just for a short time. Then you really start to understand, did he really love me? Did she really love me? Or was she just stringing me along? You know, you may have been given away and you say, did my mom really love me? You know, what was the problem that was so bad that she had to give me up? Or my father walked out on us. Did he really love me? What was so bad that caused my father to leave me, that he didn't love me enough to stay? I mean, people have all kind of questions, questioning the love that people have for them. But I wanted to discuss tonight, if we don't love ourselves, hey Tracy, what's up, cuz? If we don't love ourselves first, then we're in trouble, because then we are expecting somebody else to give to us what we don't even have to give, or what we don't even know how to give. And so when it don't come in the shape, form, or fashion that we like it to, or look like we want it to look, then we question the love. But if you first love yourself, then a lot of things wouldn't happen. A lot of things would not go on in your life. You wouldn't be frustrated or disappointed because they didn't show love. You love yourself. And I understand that they tried to love me, but they didn't know how to love me. But it will not bother me as bad because I'm okay with me. Hey, Caesar, I'm okay with me. I love me. And so when I began to read about this section in the book, if we love our neighbors rightly, the implications of Jesus' command is that we must also love ourselves. Just because you're choosing to forgive someone doesn't mean that you love yourself even less. It's a loving ourselves doesn't mean selfishly looking out for our own interests at the expense of others. We have to be careful with that. We can't, we cannot love ourselves through the expense of others, expecting them to love us and we don't even know how to love them back. We're upset because they're not loving us the way that we expect them to, because we have a need. We have a need to be loved, feel loved. Do you honestly know how love's supposed to feel? Have you really felt love before? Or you just went through a phase and you thought it was love because you thought that's how love's supposed to be? Sometimes all people know about love is the beating that their spouse, their mate, their friend do to them, the mistreatment, because that's what happened in the home. And they took it as my mother loved me, my father loved me, my sibling loved me. That's how we showed love. That's all I know. So in choosing forgiveness, we first got to love ourselves. Then it won't affect you as bad. You can understand a lot of things more better. When you have lost identity, when you don't know who you are, when you don't know how valuable you are, when you don't know your self-worth, it's hard to love yourself. It's hard to love others. You just go through the motion. You accept whatever come by. Some people go through this relationship, that relationship, that relationship, that relationship because they're not satisfied, because they're not receiving the love in the way that they would love it to be or think it to be. Do you understand? Thank you for coming in. So we have to be careful with not loving ourselves just to please someone else. The Bible tells us that we need to love ourselves as our neighbors. So we got to love ourselves first. And then it means caring for and seeking the healthiest possible nurture for ourselves and being concerned for the well-being of others to the same degree. The same way you love yourself, you have to love others. So if you don't have love for yourself, then you can't have love for others. If you don't, blessings, thank you, Apostle, for coming in. If you don't know how to love yourself, you can't give it to others. Thank you, Pastor, for coming in. So we really have to understand love and forgiveness. Those are the two things that we have to understand. It's a healthy self-love hinges on self-respect. You got to have respect for yourself. I said earlier, you got to um you got to have respect for yourself, and you got to set boundaries. You got to know how you want to be treated and how you will not be treated. When I got out of that thing of being hurt, being depressed, being misused, talked about, lied on, cheated, you know how the song go, how the things go, the things that we go through growing up and all the situations. One thing I learned, and I used to tell people this, one thing I know, my friends, one thing I do know now is how I want to be treated. Because you have to choose. You have to set boundaries. People will do what you allow them to do. But if you love yourself enough, you will not allow people to treat you any kind of way. You won't stay in an abusive relationship because you need to feel the love from them. We got to love ourselves first. Yes, it's only right to forgive them. Yes, it's only right to let them go. You can love a person by letting them go. Doesn't mean that you don't love them. It means that you love yourself better. So let's talk about self-respect a little bit. How much self-respect that you have for yourself, that you will set boundaries, and you might be in a relationship and you really want to let it go, but you say, I love him. I want to understand, what does love look like to you? What are you afraid of losing? Been there, done that. Yep, time to move on. I mean, what's more important? Your happiness, your identity, your relationship with Christ? What's more important? Your happiness? It's something else to be in a relationship and it up and down, up and down. A minute we happy, a minute we arguing. A minute we happy, a minute we arguing. You got to check self. What are the boundaries? What are your where's the self-respect that you have for yourself? That you are allowing this person just to say I love you. It feels good when somebody say I love you. I know it really does. I didn't experience real love until I met my husband. And all the time I thought I had love. But once I learned the love that he gave to me as Christ loved the church, it blew my mind. Because the things that he would say and the thoughts that he would have about me, as in safety, security, my needs above his need, I wasn't used to that. So what does love look like? We got to understand love first. You can't be in a relationship expecting them to do all the love and you don't even know what love is. So in choosing forgiveness, we forgive ourselves. We love ourselves first. We choose to forgive ourselves because we make mistakes. But I just need to be serious with you. We need to dissect that thing. Do he really love me? Does she really love me? Is she just saying it because she know that's what I want to hear? Are they showing you love? Because it's an action verb. Don't sell yourself short. We sell ourselves short a little too much. And then we get the bad end of the stick and we don't waste it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, some people 20 years and they're not happy. Some people were in relationship for 20 years and we yet forgave them. That's why we can't go any further. That's why we can't prosper. That's why things are not changing. Come on, let's talk about this thing. Let's understand. Do you really love yourself? Do you really know what love is? Have you allowed the Lord to show you love? Because I didn't know what love was. And so when I met God, when I learned who God was, it was hard for me to receive. When my husband was showing me love, true love, it was hard for me to receive. But if you don't have and you don't know Christ and have allowed Christ to love, you don't know love. But who can be the greatest lover, and who is the best lover, and who knows how to love best is God. You got to have a relationship with God to have healthier relationship with anybody else. In order to know how to love yourself, you first got to love Christ. How do you love Christ? By walking in obedience, by being faithful, by worshiping, by serving him. I I just wanted this. Choosing forgiveness has come dear to my heart as I look at it daily, as I study it daily. Because I think we're taking forgiveness lightly, to the point that God say, if you have anything in your heart, any iniquity, wickedness, evil, hatred, bitterness, he said, I don't hear you. So then if God don't hear you, who are you praying to? Who are you praying to? Thank you for coming on Periscope. Who are you praying to? We got to understand how to love Christ, how to receive love from him, from God. And then we'll know how to give love. And then you can receive love from somebody else. It's something else when you're in a relationship and your spouse doing everything in their power to do to love you, and you doing everything you can to reject him or reject them and push them away. And then you're mad because they are no longer doing nothing. They don't know how to serve you. They don't know how to please you. They don't know how to make you happy. They don't know how to love you. You've been rejected, so you've been mistreated, so you don't have a relationship with Christ, so you don't know what love is. You have an idea how it's supposed to go because so and so relationship and my friend said and this and that. But you got to know for yourself. You got to know for yourself. So you got to respect yourself enough to set boundaries and decide and to know how you want to be treated. It reads, healthy self-love hinges on self-respect, and we must guard against excusing any behavior or attitude in others that will undermine our personal integrity or jeopardize theirs. You get that? Healthy self-love hinges on self-respect, and we must guard against excusing any behavior or attitude in others that will undermine our personal integrity or jeopardize theirs. Not only just looking out for yourself, but looking out for them. And as I thought about this, I'm like, you can teach about this in so many ways. It can go so deep because it depends on the situation, the circumstance, that we can create a solution to help you get in a better place, deal with unforgiveness, love yourself, walk in confidence, live in freedom. God came to give us life and that more abundantly. If you're miserable, if you're in an abusive relationship, if you're not happy day after day, if you don't know how to love yourself, you don't have life. Sometimes you feel like life is sucked out of you. You don't know how to live. You don't know how to have peace. All you know is trouble. All you know is chaos. All you know is problems. That's not life. And God promised us life and that more abundantly. So, what is important? Getting your life together, knowing who you are, self worth, knowing your values, walking in forgiveness, not unforgiveness, walking in forgiveness, forgiving those. You know, it takes more energy and so much more weight to carry and to walk around every day being bitter, being mad, being upset. Hello, Patrick. Hey, Rita. Being upset. It is so much better. And I thank God for peace. It is so much better to forgive, release, let it go, seek God, ask God to help you. Help me to forgive this person. Create in me a clean heart, because you can't do it in your own strength. You can't do it without God. You need the Lord. You need his presence. I'm telling you, I became a worshiper. That was the only thing that helped me. Worshiping the Lord helped me through a lot of things in my life. And I have been through a lot of things, but you wouldn't know it. But God gave me peace. He taught me how to love myself, how to deal with the situation, how to look at the root cause, how to handle it, how to love you from a distance. I don't have to hate you, but I can love you way across yonder, as the old folk would say. She over yonder, I can love you way over there. I forgive you. And if you need me and I can help you, then I'm going to help you. But I don't have to hang around you to prove my love to you. I don't have to keep letting you mistreat me and be cruel to me and say harsh things to me and be ugly to me. I don't have to tolerate that. I don't have to put up with that. I know who I am. I just want to encourage somebody tonight to let you know that your heart matters, that you are important, that it's important for you to love yourself first before you're trying to love someone else. You're tired because you're doing it in your own strength. You're tired because you're trying to do it without the Lord. You're tired because is not even your job. Some of the stuff you're doing just to prove your love is not your responsibility. If you have to constantly give of yourself, if you're always the giver, if you're always pouring out, if you're always buying, if you're always doing, hey, AJ, hey, cuz, we want to look at this love thing. If it's a one-way street, we want to look at this love thing. Is it really love? The Bible says it's lust. We read yesterday all the things that love don't do. And so if someone love you, they ain't talking about how much and how many times they don't did this and they are always doing, and they ain't counting the cost. They're not counting the cost. So I want to encourage you to choose forgiveness. Don't walk around being bound in bondage in unforgiveness, sabotaging yourself because you just can't do enough to please them. First of all, you're not pleased. What about pleasing yourself first? Are you pleased? Are you happy? Do you love you? How is your relationship with yourself? When I coach people and mentor people, I want to know how your relationship is with yourself. How are you talking to you? What do you say to yourself when you look in the mirror? Today I said, girl, you know you look good. Come on. You got to tell yourself that sometimes. Oh, you waiting on your boyfriend to tell you? You waiting on your husband to tell you? So what if he don't tell you in a while? You're going to feel like he don't love you. Not necessarily true. Just because he don't say it. What is he doing? How is his action? We have to deal with self. What's important to you? Being happy, having life, and that more abundantly, or staying in an unhappy relationship, whether it's with yourself, a mate, family member, co-worker. What's important? What's important? Think about it. Think about, how are you loving you? How are you making you happy? What it takes for you to be happy. Do you have to hear it? Do you have to receive gifts? You got to love yourself first. Your heart matters. It's time to go from hurting to being healed. Respecting self requires that we discern appropriate boundaries and set limits on the amount of mistreatment. Set limits on the amount of mistreatment. We will accept from those who are thoughtless or who would be cruel. Let me read that again. Respecting self requires that we discern appropriate boundaries and set limits on the amount of mistreatment we will accept from those who are thoughtless or who would be cruel. So I want you to think about some of the things that I have said. I'll come back on tomorrow with the other stuff. This is so exciting to me. It's helping me be free, I'm glad that God taught me a long time ago on my job. I was on my job for 20 years, 21 years and 9 months. And I went through a lot on my job. But then I was always hurt because of how people treated me and the reasons they didn't like me and just all kind of crazy stuff, right? But then God started showing me how to look at the root cause. Because sometimes they are blaming us and they're the victim. Hurt people, honestly, hurt people. Hurt people not going to understand heal people because they want a pity party. They want you to understand why they're hurting, and the excuse got to be real to them. And some people just thrive off of hurting people and people being hurt. I was one. If you hurted me, I wasn't satisfied until I knew I hurted you. And I'm talking about cutting you. I could curse you out so bad that it would make you feel this small. And I was satisfied. So when we talk about pain and unforgiveness and dealing with hurt and not loving yourself and being mistreated and thinking that is love, that's not love. That's not how God intended for it to be. He wants us to be treated as queens and kings. It's not right for us to be evil to others, to be evil to our spouse, and it's not right for us to allow them to be evil to us or your friendship. Sometimes you're in a friendship and it's so controlling. I had a friendship one time. If I said I was going to call her and I didn't call her, she was upset. She was always upset. If I didn't come over, she was upset. I mean, you would have thought we went together the way she acted. But you can't let people control and manipulate you that way. You got to set boundaries. You can't keep letting people mistreat you just to feel love. You got to learn what love is. And love is what love does. And if love don't do anything, love will forgive you. Love will give you another chance. Love won't size you up and say you mount to nothing. Love won't call you names and be hard on you. Love won't do that. So let's think about this thing. It's important to love ourselves. Yes, we need to forgive, but you got to love yourself. You got to know how you want to be treated. Stop being mistreated just to be in a relationship, just to feel security, just not to be alone. I had to learn how to be alone, how to be by myself, how to be happy with me. Those are the things that God taught me before he allowed me to be found. I had to learn how to be happy with me. I can go out and have a dinner and enjoy myself. I can go to the movies and enjoy that movie. Can you? Will you go sit at the restaurant by yourself? That's nonsense. That's crazy. You don't do that. Yes, I do. And I'm happy. My husband, a truck driver. He's on the road. He calls, what are you doing? Sitting at the table eating. I'm happy. I'm happy with me. I'm happy with God. That's who I depend on for the love. That's the true love. That's love like never before. That's the best experience I ever had. Woo! Never experienced that love before. It changed my life. Will you receive Christ today? Will you give your heart back to God? That's one thing that God challenged me with. He always say, give their hearts back to me. Will you give your heart back to God so he can do surgery so you will understand love and he could pour love onto you and show you how love really supposed to be, that you would love yourself so others can love you and you can be found and he can love you like you're supposed to be loved? Allow God to blow your mind. Allow God to do a new thing. I understand family didn't do it. Nobody in my family never been married, so I'm not expecting to be married. We have a thing where nobody marriage has lasted. So will I be married? Will my marriage last? Is my marriage worth the work? Some people don't think their marriage is worth the work. But you said vows. I don't know why I'm going this way. You said vows, better or worse. If your spouse in a worse state, you're gonna walk out on them. Have to think of it. It's a lot of stuff to just think about. Choosing forgiveness just has gave me so much energy, and I'm so excited about what God is doing and what he want to do in your life, what he want to do through you. You have a calling on your life. You have a gift that God wants to stir up, that he want to begin to use you. He want your life to be changed. He don't want you to mirror 2020 when you get into 21. He don't want you to he don't want you to mirror 2020. He don't want you to go through the same thing, deal with the same thing, and be in the same place and have the same heart. He's always renewing our heart. He's always doing surgery. Things are going to happen. I'm not saying it's an easy life and I don't have battles. I have battles. I just deal with them differently and I look at them differently and I look at the root cause, and sometimes it ain't even worth getting upset. It's all about how you want to look at it. It's all about the solution that you're willing to find about it. Or you just want to have a pity party, and want everybody to get on your bandwagon. I enjoyed myself tonight. I hope I have said something to encourage somebody else. Um, I'm just overjoyed with this choosing forgiveness. And I hope and pray that you choose forgiveness on tonight, that you don't continue to be weighed down with the unnecessary things. It's some things that are in your control that you can choose to deal with and change and work out for your own salvation. I mean, like, really. And it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're the weakest link. Doesn't mean that you're a coward. I believe because you choose to forgive and because you choose to live life the way that God intended you to be, that you're the bigger person, that you're the king that God has called, that you're the queen that God has called. And he has so many things that he want to do in your life and want to do for you. If you would just surrender, stop putting all your energy in a place, in a space that is thoughtless, that don't even give you nothing in return. If your relationship is one-sided, I dare you to think about that thing. Back in the day, they used to tell us, write down the pros and the cons. See what you get. Dissect your relationship. Start with yourself first. You know you have a relationship with yourself. How is your relationship with yourself? Cause it affecting your relationship with others. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're not having a good relationship with no one else. And I know that you're miserable, but I'm here to tell you, you don't have to stay that way. There's freedom. Who the Son set free is free indeed. You can be free on tonight. You can be set free. You can be delivered on tonight. I said earlier, I love getting the devil. I love putting my neck on the devil's neck. I have information across the screen if you would like to talk with me and allow me to help you, and so that you can find peace, find joy, experience a breakthrough, know your self-worth, your value. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's go in 2020. Hey, put your stilettos on, put your heels on, and strut. Walk in confidence. Know who you are. Be the child of God that He has called you to be. God bless you. I thank you for listening. You can DM me. You can take the information across the screen. You can contact me. I'm ready and willing to help you find a solution so that you can be free. No longer bound. No more chains holding me. What's important to you? Your freedom or their life? What's important to you? You loving yourself, knowing your self-worth, your value, or unhappiness? Do you want peace? God came to give you peace. Will you receive peace on tonight? I have explained a lot that you can begin to make some decisions tonight for yourself, and it will free you. And I tell you, if you start it, God will finish it. Nothing is never left undone. What you think that you have experienced that can't be changed or fixed, God will turn it around for your good. He's just good like that. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. He's good like that. If you don't have a relationship with Him, I dare you to try Him tonight. I dare you to try Him tonight. I dare you to open up your heart and ask Him to come in, and you will be saved. Repent. Turn from your wicked ways. God bless you. I love you. Have an awesome night. Until next time, sweet dreams. Remember, your heart matters. God bless. Bye-bye.